You're listening to Opinions in Beer.
I prefer mead.
You sent me to hell, Jason.
I really just want to make everybody jealous.
I'm a person from Earth.
Listen, what are we talking about?
I reckon it sounds like Opinions in Beer.
You can do it, Dingo.
Oh, I'm good.
You're the smartest dumb guys I've ever met.
So Banjo-Kazooie was added to Super Smash.
How many views did that have already?
90. That has basically 100,000 views.
Oh, holy shit. So this is going to be the episode where we discuss some of the games from E3 and stuff.
A lot of new gaming news. Plus, before we start the episode, we want to give a R.I.P. to Etsuka.
Yeah, apparently sometime recently a YouTube gamer named Etika took his own life. I don't know what exactly the reasoning was. We're not going to get into all that. We just wanted to give a rip. So
R.I.P., man.
There you go.
Sorry for all your stuff. Life.
But Banjo's in Smash.
Banjo is in Smash.
Banjo-Kazooie is in Smash.
Banjo-Kazooie, man.
So
That's intense.
I was reading an article from somebody who
this beer we just poured is thicker than that.
Oh, yeah, dude, for sure. Sure. So before we get into all the E3 stuff, maybe we should just kind of check out this beer.
You want to check out this beer?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so cool looking. Today's beer of the day is brought to you by the Lone Pint Brewing Company. It is the Jabberwocky Imperial IPA. It is 8.5% in alcohol by volume and an IBU of 114. That's right, it tips the scale of the IBU rating, which should only go to 100. You're not supposed to be able to measure.
Wait, Jabberwocky's the one that's 114?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Here we are, Jabberwocky.
Dude.
114 IBUs.
You know what? I drank some straight apple cider vinegar the other day, and it looked, this beer looks exactly like that. And grain is fed to a local dairy farmer's cows, and the spent hops live on in our beer. Yes. Craft brewing is an American institution. Sorry. So where have you heard, I'll tell you where I've heard of Jabberwocky. Because I'm assuming that it's maybe like a mystical creature or something.
Yeah.
I've heard the reason why I know of the Jabberwocky is from the Elder Scrolls, from playing
okay.
Yeah, like Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind.
Was there a Jabberwocky in like a film or anything?
The Jabberwocky is so one of the Daedric gods. I can't remember his name, but he's like the god of chaos and weird mysticism and stuff.
Oh, Through the Looking Glass.
Through the Looking Glass, okay.
Yeah, Jabberwocky is a nonsense poem written by Lewis Carroll about the killing of a creature named the Jabberwocky. It was included in his 1871 novel, Through the Looking Glass.
Okay. So Jabberwocky being introduced in those games is like an homage to that. Do you need some water?
No, it's fine.
Do you think they had water on the stage of E3 where they announced all of those fucking amazing games?
Maybe. We won't know until we try this beer. I'm gonna smell it first.
Banjo!
Ooh, it smells like pure hops.
Oh, yeah?
It smells like hops.
Ooh, yeah. So that's the first one in a while that I've been able to actually smell. So
I'm gonna try this beer.
Holy shit, 114 IBU. All right, so I haven't tried it yet. You have
It's
a
little
look.
smoother.
You have a look of like you enjoyed it, but also were disgusted.
It's a little smoother.
So
than,
let me try it. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
It is really bitter. You know what? Okay, so if you're around the Texas area, for us, we have a lot of Carbach beer and stuff like that, like Hopadillo.
Yeah.
To me, that kind of tastes like Hopadillo in the sense that the bitterness is way up there.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say that this is a fucking phenomenal beer because where not to do like an exact like comparison between the two, this one starts off really smooth and it tastes really really good, and then whenever it finishes up, it does have a really strong bitterness to it, but then it's like crisp for a little bit and smooth again on the finish, which I don't know. I've never tasted an IPA that's done that, so that's a very impressive beer.
There are IPAs out there that I've sipped and were just like, it was just like a burst of bitterness. It was just pure bitter.
Yeah.
So it's always cool to get these higher IBUs that have like flavor that kind of
Yes, it's not like you know, it's like, yeah, it is that better, but also it doesn't taste like shit.
Exactly. That's so crazy. Cause it's just because when I originally started, reviewing beers and stuff, IPAs were just not good.
Take them or leave them.
Not good.
Right? Like, and there were a lot of IPAs that we've tried down the road that made me be like, like I'm developing a like for IPAs, but fuck them, I say fuck them. I still like stouts more,
Right.
Stouts and porters all the way. But had I tasted Jabberwocky, that first beer, and the second beer and the third one after that, all for IPAs, then I would definitely have given it way more thought.
Talking about a lot of stuff. Banjo-Kazooie was added to the game. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it was
We have a lot of news going on right now.
a whole lot of news. In fact, I would say that there is a lot of games that we could talk about right now, but
Jabberwocky's really good.
we're gonna first and foremost talk about the one thing that's hyped everybody, and that's Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII? Oh yeah, the remake.
Yeah. But the intro there, we played a little snippet of people reacting to Banjo-Kazooie, and I saw something that somebody posted earlier this week that was a comparison to like Japanese/American reactions to Banjo-Kazooie and the Dragon Quest hero that they revealed at E3 for Super Smash Bros. As downloadable content. And they said that Japanese people were excited for Dragon Quest and they had no clue who Banjo-Kazooie were. But that was fine because American people were excited for Banjo-Kazooie, but they had no clue who the Dragon Quest hero was. So, like, it's a fair trade-off. Like,
Fair trade-off.
yeah.
Well, is that all you had to say about the Banjo-Kazooie thing?
Personally, I loved Banjo-Kazooie growing up.
Didn't they re-release it on PlayStation?
Yeah, it's
Or
on.
no?
It was on Xbox.
Xbox,
They
okay.
because Xbox has the rights to.
Was it
Rare.
re-released on? Okay. So was it re-released on Switch yet?
Not Banjo-Kazooie, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I don't
so
know why I
that's
thought
why
it was
like that's kind of a
At least.
that's one of those things that should be on there because it was released on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
But I guess because of copyright issues with the
But
company
how's it on-
Rare.
Then how's it gonna be on Switch?
On Switch?
I mean on the the game.
Well, now that Microsoft is owned by Xbox Rare is owned by Microsoft, now Microsoft is working, I want to say because of like Fortnite, and like against, like it's in their best interest to work with Nintendo and get kind of like do cross promotion for advertising and give fans what they want. Like Xbox, by allowing like Rare to do that, I don't know how much say Rare had in it.
Oh man, Fortnite is causing craziness, isn't it?
Yeah, the gaming
Fortnite,
industry
man,
is turned upside
I mean,
down.
it's just. Would you think we would be this close, or this cross-platform is basically happening?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what they were the main. So, all right, if everyone out there listening right now didn't know what happened at E3, supposedly there was like a standoff between Sony and the place that in E3, like
Right.
the place, the convention center that they ran it at, and a couple of other gaming developers and people that wanted to announce that weren't able to because they wanted so much. Apparently, they wanted too much money, and Sony was just like, "We'll just talk about our shit on YouTube or something. We'll just release our stuff in a different way." And Microsoft was able to kind of like powerhouse the floor, the main E3 floor, because of that. So they used that to promote their new Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is going to be completely cross-platform and compatible between PC and Xbox.
Oh wow!
So like you can, and what they're wanting to do with the gaming industry is focus more on, and they've been saying this for years, but like using like your cell phone or something as like a gaming platform, but instead of using it as like for a cell phone game, you like, I think what they're trying to say is like with 5G compatibility, it's supposed to be like fiber networks except wireless. 5G. Yeah.
Are you scared about 5G?
No, I'm not scared. Why would I be?
I don't know. I've just heard some, I guess, conspiracies over 5G already.
Over 5G? What kind of conspiracies have you heard?
Just like
that's probably way more interesting than.
Oh, I mean, like the conspiracies about like just the effects it has.
So, we're about to get into some shit. This is great. I'm glad you brought that up. Nikola Tesla, who is one of the proprietors of radio waves and whatnot, before he passed into obscurity and then was super poor and died alone, he talked about being able to project electricity through radio waves to wireless towers. And he wanted to have huge, giant wireless, or not wireless, but huge, giant radio towers all across the world. And
that's how they're doing it.
And they wanted, he actually had a formula to be able to project electricity wirelessly, like Wi-Fi, kind of like what we're talking about Wi-Fi is, like the thought of that today, except it could power your home.
Right.
So like that technology has been in the air, literally, and I think that we are like, as a species, getting closer to that with the way that Wi-Fi and stuff like that works nowadays, which
What's
is
weird
really cool.
is that sounds a lot like that documentary that dude was talking about, how the ship scene operated.
How the what?
How the ship.
The ship scene.
There's a ship. Okay, so allegedly, Area 51 has a ship that operates off of energy from radio waves, or it's like it operates off of energy without it having a energy source.
Yes.
So you're saying that though, and they already have it.
They do.
Yeah, that's
what
according to this
Area
fucking
51
thing.
does.
Yeah, according.
What if Nikola Tesla was a fucking alien? Have you seen the pictures of him? Maybe that's why he died alone.
No, it's just crazy.
He died alone because people figured him out. They're like, In the pictures, all of his pictures are black and
I'm
white.
just-
It makes sense. It all makes sense now. He was a gray. Nikola Tesla was a gray.
Apparently in Area 51.
And that's why he was so ugly. People were like, dude, what the fuck? You're obviously an alien.
He said
talking about all this
Apparently it's
crazy
actually
shit.
hard to work in Area 51 because apparently they only work people in groups of 2, and you're not allowed to see what other people are doing when you're working. So it's just 2 people. They work with a buddy system where it's like 2 people on one little project of a bigger project. So they split up pieces of a project amongst groups of 2. And apparently it's hard to work that way because they don't know what everyone else is figuring out.
They don't.
And then apparently a general just walks through. He gets their information, and then like he delivers it onward.
So that's interesting. Another what's weirdly relatable is there's a system of development with that music artists use where they will isolate themselves and the other people playing other instruments, and they'll record solo or whatever, and all have like kind of like this guideline of what they should be looking at.
Yeah.
And then they'll do it all solo and then put it together at the end format. That's how I want to say like the Mars Volta recorded, and some other bands do have like a similar style to that. So,
he was saying
that was interesting.
He was saying that's not how science is supposed to work. It's supposed to be a group of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the same time, like, hey, also relatable, like bands playing all at the same time, recording stuff sounds pretty good, I think.
But basically, there was just allusion.
That was fine.
It was just a bunch of alluding to the fact that we've had technology for a long time,
so
but we just can't disrupt.
We know about all this crazy shit, but we're still incompetent. Is that what he's saying? Is that the government's still incompetent?
No, he's saying that they're just keeping it locked away, I guess, because it's too much money to lose with technology like that. You ever think about that?
Yeah.
Is that too crazy? Or that's above our brains? Is that above our brains?
No, it's not above our brains.
No, but I mean like to go and find if it's real.
Oh yeah, no. I think that's above my pay scale to go and find.
So you have to get paid a certain amount of money to go find the
Area 51. Yeah.
Secrets.
So what I'm telling everyone right now that's listening is, if you're willing to check out our Instagram and Facebook group and Twitter and
hey, don't give us some money. We will go
potentially.
We'll go to Area 51 and see what's going on.
If you
Weird
will
mountain
help
bases.
invest it, I'll go figure that shit out.
Yeah, I'll go find.
I'll go figure that shit out.
I'll go find all the mountains,
out
all the bases inside
what's
mountains.
going on there.
Any base that is inside of a mountain, we're going into it.
We're gonna be like, it's gonna be like spelunkers. Yeah.
But anyways, speaking of gaming news, so you see then that at the 72nd World Health Assembly, they announced that the gaming disorder is an actual disorder, gaming addiction,
Yeah.
and the ESA, the electronic gaming addiction, they took a stance against them. They're like, hey, no, you can't be saying, it's not in gaming.
Elder Scrolls
it's just
Online,
people
you
are
said?
just weird.
What was it? ESA? What's ESA?
ESA, electronic.
Safety Administration. Or
I don't know.
something?
Something weird.
Sure.
The gaming company.
If that's not what it stands
the
for,
gaming
ESA,
people.
then change your name because.
However, the biggest argument right now has been the introduction of loot boxes or whatever, and they're saying that kind of is a gambling thing in games now. Loot boxes, and how like you pay for these loot boxes, now you feel like you have to play because you just paid for these extra items or whatever. It's like you're forced to keep paying.
Yeah.
stuff like that. Kind of like what EA did with that new Star Wars game.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, that people got pissed off at.
Yeah, and then kind of like see, a lot of times nowadays people they're adding content that should be in with the game, and they're making more money off of it that way. But they're saying that like some of the stuff isn't really necessary to have, but truly it is. Oh yeah, top me off. By the way, I'm giving Jabberwocky. I've thought it over. I'm giving it a 10.
Yeah. I'm giving Jabberwocky a 10
because I was like, man, I really want to give it a 9 because I feel like it's like
it hits on style,
there, but
it hits on style, and then it's just that's the thing though is we drink so many different styles of beer, and sometimes we just rate them based off of I guess initial reaction.
Yeah.
But as a style, as an IPA, this is probably one of the best IPAs I've had on the show so far.
Yeah. And I've kind of talked about my journey through IPAs on ones that I would love to be able to sit there and call.
This one's really good.
Enjoyable, because whenever I started this, like, IPAs were the one beer that I was just like, nah, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't like them. And I am very glad to be able to see, like, that's what I'm saying. If Jabberwocky were the way that we opened the show to begin with, then I would have been so much more on board with a lot of the craft beer community.
Right.
Because, like, a lot of what they say seems like bullshit to me. And then, some of what they say, it makes sense, and they got a good point. I think that Jabberwocky, if you were going to champion why IPAs are big in the craft beer community, this would be the one to say why.
Definitely.
It's like, and that's the coolest fucking. That's cool.
I should have
cool
bought it. I bought
it. Tastes good.
I bought it as a single. They sell it in a 4-pack, but the 4-pack was kind of pricey, so just bought the single.
What does this say? Tasting notes: deep golden, with a head made of hop resin, light malt breadiness, hidden beneath an onslaught of pungent hoppy tropical fruitiness. Shun the frumious Bandersnatch. Shun it. And it says, it has an ingredients list on it. It says Golden Promise and Pilsner malted barley, Columbus and Citra whole cone hops, and house yeast.
They just put everything in this one.
Yeah, whatever. They made it. They did it right. Our ale is unfiltered and unpasteurized. Decant with care, as some yeast settling is normal.
But you think Fortnite played a part in this addiction thing?
For IPAs in the craft beer community? Yes. Yeah.
No, but do you think Fortnite played a part in the talks of it being an addiction?
Being an addiction? No, because I saw
because
before Fortnite came out, I've been seeing people talking about these things, and originally people would post it in communities, and then everyone would laugh at that.
Well, I mean, a lot of gaming magazines,
and then I'd get real mad, and I'd be like, they're full of shit and blah blah blah.
A lot of gaming articles are blaming Fortnite.
Well, blaming Fortnite.
They are.
Okay. Well, Fortnite's not the reason why, and gaming articles don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Iraq actually just banned Fortnite for being addictive.
Yeah, well, that's because Iraq are fucking retarded. So, look, this is the problem, guys. If you've never played Fortnite, Fortnite's fucking stupid, and it sucks. And whenever you're playing competitively, it's really stupid and sucks. So, for them to try and say that it's overly addicting is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because, like, why don't you go play around Fortnite and fucking leave your mic and headphones on and listen to all the little kids screaming in your ear while they're fucking building 90s on top of you and boxing you in and then trap killing you. You stupid fuck.
But yeah, Iraq.
Addicting.
Iraq.
Go play one round with
Who else said it was
fucking
addicting?
these
Prince,
asshole trolls.
the Prince. Who's the Prince right now?
Have like
Harry, Prince Harry. He said it. He said Fortnite was too addicting.
Yeah, go play Fortnite with one stream sniper, bitches. Entire country of Iraq.
Prince Harry said that Fortnite was too addicting as well.
And you'll never ever play
Harry.
it again.
Prince
Harry. Prince Harry. Yeah. He's a great judge of addiction, huh?
Moving on. What's your thoughts on the Avengers Backlash? You know what? My problem with the Avengers Backlash is the...
Hold on. Now, I want to touch on this. So do you think that Prince Harry is like... He's sitting in his comfy castle? Because let's face it, he's sitting in a huge comfy castle made of like beanbags and shit on the inside. And he's just got the biggest TV that Britain can afford, his luxurious family. It's made of fucking solid gold. He's got diamonds all around it. And he's got this really killer Xbox that's also made of gold and diamonds. And the family jewels. The royal jewels he put on, his Xbox controller. That's the Xbox emblem. It's just a diamond or some shit from Britain's coffers. So he cannot leave his room because he is just fucking smitten with Fortnite.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So he's been.
That's why he killed his wife.
Yes.
Dun dun dun. No, I'm joking.
That's the other one. You're thinking of the other one.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. No. No.
My bad.
He was like, "Wow, these video games are so addictive."
Get off the game! Die!
It was one of those.
No. Get off the game. But no, Avengers Square Enix getting a lot of backlash because
because they don't look like the
movie characters. But the thing is that they look a lot like their modern day comic characters.
Yeah, they do.
Character. The game looks awesome.
I'm glad you brought this up because I just want to comment on this. Like, guys, if y'all have any questions about E3, y'all can message us on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc.
Discord.
Yes, exactly. And honestly, just ask us anything about it because I've watched every single game that they showed, and I watched all most of the other companies that released their own things, like Sony and I want to say Square Enix.
Yeah.
I watched all those too, so I know of all the stupid games that are coming out.
That was fun.
But they're trying to focus on playing everything with 5G compatibility, essentially, to where your phone becomes a streaming device that you can play like any PlayStation game on. Just with you. You can just have it with you, and then you can play it. And then you can take it anywhere. So essentially what they're wanting to do is kind of like how the Switch works. They're wanting to adapt Switch compatibility with like anything that you can use. They want to make it to where you can do it with your tablets. They want to make it to... That's where the Microsoft and the gaming industry are trying to bring the future to. That's the point where they want to be at.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. We didn't ask for that, so don't do it. If we don't ask for something, then you don't have to do it. Okay. Now, I will say this though: a lot of the stuff that we don't ask for sometimes tends to be really impressive. Like, people were very hostile towards digital storage whenever the Xbox released. And digital storage is the way of the future. Like, now if you have a storage device that can hold enough, it's much simpler than having a perishable like game disc or something. So, and if you have the rights to it, you're automatically able to upload it to say a different thing. So it's it's a cool concept, and I feel like with what they're trying to push towards with Microsoft and Xbox isn't a bad thing. Like, someone out there, like, this isn't for everyone. This isn't for the people that have good service that can just play on their PS4 or their PC or something like that. Now, this is for the person who lives in, like, a real far back roads in the Netherlands or something, and they don't fucking, have a system at their house or anything that they can use. But in order for them to be able to be in that world, all they need is, like, their cell phone and, like, a fucking dollar or something to be able to stream that service directly to them, to where they can join in on almost an unlimited amount of games and stuff. So with technology, I mean, that's probably going to range to movies as well. Yeah, so if you can imagine what that's going to do to all the different industries, it's we live in a strange time, man. Strange time. And it's stuff that, like, I don't really want that. Like, that's going to be cool, but I don't really want that. I honestly think that will complicate things. I know it's supposed to be like a simpler process, but I think it will complicate things. But maybe that's a sign that I'm getting old or something, is to look at something that's interesting and newer and be like, meh.
Yeah, humbug.
IPAs.
Oh my god.
This tastes way worse than Bud
What were
Light.
your thoughts on the Square Enix Avengers game? I thought it looked awesome. No?
Okay, so Square Enix, every now and then they take a game and they try and, or a franchise, or they try and redo it, and they usually tend to do all right. They've done all right with, like, Tomb Raider and stuff like that.
What does it look like to you, though? Does it look like it's going to be a 4-person co-op Just Cause?
Not to me. I didn't
More
get to watch.
linear.
I honestly didn't get to watch enough gameplay to be able to comment on it.
Okay.
I watched the trailers and stuff that they showed for it, and
I think it's gonna
an interview with the actors that are playing those roles.
I did a lot of reading on it. I think it's going to be
and
4-people co-op, 4-player co-op.
So my immediate reaction whenever I saw it was that, oh wow, these actors don't look anything like the characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then I said, oh, I wonder if they're gonna, like, if the game is meant to, like, not look like the Marvel. And then they showed the gameplay and, like, didn't look anything like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and, like, didn't sound like them either. So you could tell that they were kind of establishing their own thing or something.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with all the Marvel games. Like, if you think about the most recent ones that have been notable, it's they're all usually like Marvel Ultimate Alliance or something.
Like always fighting games.
Yeah, and then before that, it was like X-Men Mutant Academy, where it's like this kind of like over the top third player like dungeon crawler.
Oh, okay.
Or RPG.
It was
style.
an RPG.
Well, I mean, it's considered to be an RPG, but, like, we're talking about RPG game mechanics.
The last good
like,
Marvel game I played
like
was that Wolverine game I liked a lot.
Wow.
And you could, like, fucking double stab
Are
someone in
you
the chest.
talking about, like, X-Men 2 Wolverine or
no,
some shit?
Yeah, well, you could
like
do
for
that.
PlayStation 2?
You could do stuff like that.
That was a good game.
Was it
but
PS2?
It was also really bad, too.
What?
Yeah, it was like PlayStation 2, man.
You're crazy.
And maybe PS3, but, like, I know what you're talking about. And so no, there's been multiple games since then where you can play as, like, almost every Marvel character you ever want in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They also did have, like, the
I think it was X-Men Origins.
Mutant Academy.
Is Ilm Raiden?
What's that?
X-Men Origins.
X-Men Origins?
Yeah, it was Ilm Raiden.
Yeah, what's the year on that?
Fuck. Okay, yeah. PS3, 2009.
Oh, PS3? 2009? Damn. it's been 10 years since that stupid piece of shit was released.
Dude, that game?
No, the game was okay. I mean, the game wasn't good.
The movie was horrible. The game was awesome.
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie.
Had fun stuff in it. Crazy, killing me.
What, you just like being Wolverine? What was your favorite part about Wolverine?
I guess it was actually more the fighting mechanics. There was like the levels I hated.
So when you say mechanics,
when you're fighting people,
you could like being able to stab people, right?
Well, I mean, but it was it looked good too as well.
Okay, so some games have this mechanic where they kind of dumb down the combat system to where you can do more moves by just pressing like maybe 1 to 2 buttons, and it makes it to where it's more of a cinematic experience where like you do cooler moves. One of the games recently that did that was like Prototype.
Yeah.
So like that type of system, I think is more like you're praising the game, but I think that you're in love with the system.
Okay.
The game mechanic. You see what I'm saying?
This had combos.
Yeah. No.
Box,
I mean
box,
like
triangle, X.
That's
R1 box. You
X-Men,
can unlock
X-Men Origins
you
the
unlock
game.
new
Wolverine.
game, and you unlock new moves.
It had a really bad storyline.
Yeah.
The characters looked really dumb, but it had some really cool game fighting mechanics. Like, I would say that probably, though they don't want to admit it, like Batman, like Arkham Origins, probably took a little bit from that fucking system. So
I don't know. I didn't like the fighting in Batman.
Well, yeah, but that's because they changed it.
It's
they
how it
modified
moved.
it. Yeah. They made it to where instead of being able to completely control all of the dynamics of it, they made it more like cinematic, where like instead of you like moving the joystick or whatever and him walking in a circle, he like floats around his opponent in a circle where it's way faster than you trying to move around them or something.
Right. So is that a up or down for Avengers?
Marvel Avengers? It's so hard to say. I'll have to wait and see game mechanics first, because I'm so used to that RPG style of Marvel gameplay that seeing something like what you described as like a kind of like bust 'em all Red Faction style 4-player game, more like the Incredible Hulks for GameCube and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
A system like that. That sounds awesome. And it doesn't matter how stupid Thor looks or Captain America looks in those versions, if the gameplay is fun.
Yeah.
And
I
you
agree.
can still be your characters. Because then it's like, oh, okay, well, if I don't have to look exactly like Chris Hemsworth, maybe I can enjoy this character more, you know?
How about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order. Okay, this is a good example.
Is there no dismemberment in this one?
Of
That's what's going on?
Yeah, there's none. So this is a perfect example of taking an edgy style and then trying to capitalize on it.
In what do you mean?
Disney is taking the edgy styles of Star Wars Jedi Outcast and other games from like other PC style early 90s games.
Yeah.
Like Jedi Commando or Knights of the Old Republic, where you were you were essentially a villain in most of the cases.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're capitalizing on that, but still trying to stick to the Disney Force guidelines, and that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't dismember people, like they want to make it known that you're not a gray Jedi, you're not Sith, you are a Jedi. So imagine Obi-Wan at his lowest
But I've seen
point.
some comments that Star Wars fans don't really like Star Wars games because they seem to underpower the lightsabers. Do you feel the same?
Underpower the lightsabers? Well, look, whenever it comes to something like that, look, I don't give a shit what anyone says about Star Wars games, because when I was growing up, we had Jedi power battles, and that, to this day, is one of my favorite games I've ever played. And they made that system, and the lightsabers seemed fine then. So, like, people can talk as much shit as they want, and sometimes rightfully so, because I feel like they are gonna be dumbing down this game.
Okay. So
I feel like we're gonna have like some type of DLC that we're gonna have to pay for,
right.
And that they're trying to capitalize on the edginess of the past where stories were cool, and they're gonna put violence in it to try and lure in that crowd, but it's still gonna be a Disney game at the end of the day, because that's what they want. They want Star Wars to be like lightsabers don't really exist.
I don't know. I read in gaming
they want somebody to be stabbed and it to like be like just like show flesh and not blood.
But
you know?
this is the gaming. This is the Star Wars game that Star Wars fans always wanted.
Well,
Maybe.
it is, but they want this game to be where you could. That's the problem. Is they all think that this is like Star Wars Jedi Rebel or some shit, except modernized, where you can cut people's heads off with a lightsaber and then blast down their fucking, decapitated like torso with a blaster, and then have Chewbacca yelling in the background or some shit while you're, blasting around on the Millennium Falcon like rodeo, like cowboy style. Right? That's what they want, but what they don't understand is they're gonna get Star Wars
Phantom Menace,
Episode 8,
the one Phantom Menace game. You remember the Phantom Menace game? That didn't have dismemberment. That was all like E-rated, I guess.
There were like 2 or 3 Phantom Menace games.
Oh, really? On PS1 or whatever, PlayStation 1 or something?
Yeah, are you talking about the one that like?
It was literally like the movie.
It was like the movie
Yeah.
game. Yeah. I actually really liked that game.
Yeah, that was okay.
It was fun.
That was a decent game.
Yeah. I miss when I feel like companies were forced to do more in the past when it.
But that was also Lucas Arts too. It was like Lucas making it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously now it's different company and everything. Who made all the PC games? Lucas made them?
Yeah, it was usually LucasArts working with like outward companies.
Okay.
Like I want to say that they worked with the people that worked on Wasteland.
Oh, okay.
Which was like the precursor to Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Like so these games, like they were made by really good companies that wanted to make. In the 90s, people wanted a certain type of edgy content, and they got it. Like, people made that for them.
Right.
Like, nowadays we're dealing with stuff where people want edgy content, but because of Twitter and weird shit like that and copyright issues, they can't get what they want. Things are just restricted by tape.
It's fucked up.
So, I bet Jedi Fallen Order, is that the name of the game?
Yes.
Jedi Fallen Order, modded by so-and-so, 2 years after the release of it, where he puts
decapitation
Dante in the game, and he's running around decapitating everybody, and riding Chewbacca. Like, Chewbacca's going to be like his spaceship. He's going to mod it to where his spaceship's Chewbacca. I bet that shit is going to be fucking amazing.
Right.
Especially with the production value that this company that is making this game is going to be. So, that's my opinion on it.
My opinion. One last game that we want to comment on. You know anything about Streets of Rage 4?
Streets of Rage 4?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, that's one I haven't heard of.
You didn't hear that one?
No, and I'm like really excited now because I'm a huge Streets
what's
of
weird
Rage
is
fan.
that it doesn't have...
You are too.
What's
used
weird...
to play the show.
Yeah,
like Genesis and
it's Streets of Rage 4. It's updated with like I guess like it's like 3D looking now, and it's kind of like Asian 3D looking. It's like Streets.
Okay.
It looks like the Dragon Ball Z games.
Okay, like cell shaded.
Cell shaded. That's what I'm thinking.
Really?
But it's like Streets of Rage 4, and it's supposed to come out later this year.
What have you seen on it? What can you tell me?
Photos.
Photos. Do the characters look like are you gonna be like Axel?
Yeah, I think
and, the other two.
Yeah, it's exciting.
2 or 3.
It's exciting that they're gonna. It doesn't say what platforms they're gonna be on yet, though.
No.
So that's kind
of. What's the company developing it? Do you know that?
Let me look this up. Talk a little bit about Streets of Rage if you can.
Okay, so to give everyone an idea, what these games used to be is on, I want to say like Sega Genesis and Nintendo, possibly Super Nintendo. It was in that mixed era between the 3 systems where they had progressed, but not everybody owned Super Nintendo. So maybe they still did try and do later games on Nintendo or Sega Genesis. And Streets of Rage was a side-scroller beat-em-up in the same vein as like Double Dragon and other games along that line.
.emu and Guard Crush Games.
Yeah, .emu. I remember them. I don't remember, what was that?
Crash
Games?
Yeah.
God Crash Games or something like that. I don't know.
Lizard Cube, Guard Crash Games.
Lizard Cube and Guard Crash Games.
Yeah, those are the developers. The publisher is .emu.
.emu is the publisher. Okay. So, no, that's wrong. .emu, that's .emulation.
They released X-Men
is what that means.
2011.
They're talking about a wrong...
Metal Slug 3, Final Fantasy V11.
They're talking
Slug.
about a fucking link to a ROM file.
Fatal Fury Special. Final Fantasy V111. 5, 6, 7, 8 remastered.
Oh, shit. So that's possibly one of my favorite games.
Final Fantasy 8 remastered?
Final Fantasy 8.
Remastered?
And it was the one game that they had brought to Switch and that they had brought to all the modern consoles.
Mm-hmm.
That's the more recent versions of the Final Fantasies that aren't like 2D or whatever. It was the only like 3D one that they hadn't brought to the new systems. PS3 was the last one that I had it on. So I've been really pissed because I haven't been able to play the game that I wanted to play, except for on like PC. And Final Fantasy VII's been, the remake's been talked about for a long, long time, but like I'm an 8 fan, and like, don't get me wrong, I want to see the 7 remake. It's going to be awesome. Like they have done a really good job, but 8's my favorite. So I was like, what the hell? They haven't even brought this up to the current generation of consoles. And then they revealed at E3 that they're doing a remaster of it. And I'm going to tell you what, on the day of the 10-year anniversary of Final Fantasy VIII, there was nothing from the game development company, but there was a huge outcry by fans on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. And they were all talking about how they thought that it was screwed up that Final Fantasy VIII wasn't getting any love.
So whoever made Streets of Fury is making Streets of Rage 4.
Streets of Fury was like essentially the exact things. I would
Yeah,
say.
so those people, they basically, Streets of Fury was their way to show they can do it.
Yeah.
So that they could sell it to Sega for Sega to let them make Streets of Rage 4.
That's so cool because I saw Streets of Fury not too long ago, and I was like, "Oh, I know exactly what that is. Assholes! They ripped off Streets of Rage." But they did that in order to be able to
Make a new Streets of Rage.
So like, I'm really excited about that.
That's pretty cool. So, other than that, what are you excited for from E3 and any other information and games that you're excited for?
From things that are coming up, that's definitely going to be cool. What do you think about actors in gaming? Because now,
Keanu Reeves.
Because Cyberpunk. They showed Cyberpunk.
What happens in Cyberpunk?
And Death Stranding with Norman Reedus.
Oh yeah, dude, that one looks good too.
So what do you think about straight up like actors being in games?
I mean,
this?
It's cool. They've been doing that though since Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Call of
but
Duty
like,
been doing it.
But now, like, the technology is advanced far enough to where, like, the likeness between the characters.
I know they need a
remake. Well, don't get me wrong. When we were playing the Matrix Reloaded 2000, we were like, "Wow, this is exactly Keanu Reeves in this game." Like, how did they transfer Keanu Reeves from an actor into this game?
I was about to bring up Into the Matrix.
It must have been the Matrix, right?
So, actually, I was going to bring up Into the Matrix. He's not even in that game, but...
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's not. No, they made, like, a Matrix, like, 3 years later.
Into the Matrix is better.
Into the Matrix was a fucking
Into the Matrix was
awesome
such a good game.
Can you imagine a movie being so good that for, like, the next, like, 6 years... every movie makes like a weird homage to your movie.
Right.
Like, I know that people don't want to acknowledge that The Matrix was a really good movie, but like, it was a really good movie. Like, I don't know, man.
Hey,
and now we're gifted with Keanu Reeves as like sex god cyberpunk legend.
Did you watch him in that Asian film, the Asian film on Netflix? He made a cameo, and he's like, this girl's like. He's like he's like a fling to this girl or whatever, like a boyfriend or whatever, and like he's like really nice, right? Like he is Keanu Reeves, but then he's like he has undertones of being like a super douche, and the main character is the guy that played Kim Jong-un in the interview.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
You've seen it? Yeah, you scrolled by it?
Yes, I've scrolled by it.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that I've seen an episode. I haven't, but I'll probably watch that episode.
Episode?
Yeah, you said Keanu Reeves is in it as like a fling.
No, it's a movie, though.
Oh, it's a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, no, maybe I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
You were thinking about Fresh Off the Boat.
Yes.
That's a TV show. No, it wasn't that one. Shaq was on that one, though, in one episode. Shaq was in that, and they were talking about Shaq Fu. There's a big thing about Shaq Fu, and he's like, don't mention that game. Don't mention Shaq Fu.
It. You know they made the
I know they made
Shaq
it. I know they remade
awesome.
it. Don't mention that game. That's why I'm here. I bought this damn car lot to make up my money for the game.
For Shaq Fu?
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude. Shaq is awesome, dude. I'm like I said a second ago, I'm definitely gonna be watching that episode.
Yeah, go watch that episode. But yeah, that Keanu Reeves, him in that movie, they showed me there's an actual thing where people will go and listen to their food. You know that?
Well, I mean, I know that
would you do
a
that?
lot of like ASMR stuff is kind of similar to that. I know that a lot of foreign countries will sit there and they'll listen to and or like do almost like they'll record like video dates or whatever.
Oh, really?
They'll like someone will like record themselves eating something or drinking a certain type of drink or whatever and then upload it. And these people will, they'll pour themselves a drink, they'll get a meal, and then they'll watch this video of this person also, having a meal and having a drink.
No, this is like you're listening to the animals that you're eating.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the same. It's like the same vein, like. And
then, dude, Keanu Reeves, he's doing that. He's like, "Woo, so good." He's like crying though. He's crying. I'm so sorry. But then he like takes a bite of the fucking steak. He's listening to the cow moon. He takes a fucking bite of the steak. So shit. It's a pretty funny. He's funny in that scene. He's funny in that movie. Then he gets in a fight with the dude. He starts slapping him. They're slapping each other. I'll get you an Uber. he says it so nice, but he's like angry. So it's like fucking weird.
Are you excited for fucking Bill and Ted?
Yes, Bill and Ted, dude. They're making a Bill and Ted
Ted's
sequel.
Gonna be cool.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
I like the plot. I think we talked about it before.
A little bit.
I had to bring it back up because we recently talked about that, and then like the Cyberpunk news dropped with Keanu Reeves, and he's already really hot right now because of John Wick 3.
Yes.
I want to say, and like they had a promotional.
He's in a lot of stuff
with Fortnite.
He's been in 3 movies this year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
Killing it.
He's like a real actor.
Year of Keanu.
Yeah, it's the year of Keanu, even though the game's gonna be probably next year.
Really?
Yeah.
That was this year.
No, it's 2077.
No, it's this year, dude. That was this year.
No, it's Cyberpunk 2077.
I hope they don't push it back to next year. I thought it was supposed to come out in November or something.
What I took away from E3 was that most of the stuff that was shown is like if it was really cool and it was a brand new announcement or whatever that no one had seen, then that it was going to be like 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, which sucks, but that's how long it takes.
Cyberpunk's been being promoted.
Yeah, but that's because the whole Cyberpunk thing was like a totally different. It was a movement before it was an actual series, I want to say.
You want to say?
I guess that's just my opinion, though.
That's just your opinion. That's fine. Because all we got here are opinions and beer. Man, this Jabberwocky was good. Straight up 10.
We are opinions.